Morning Exercises, April 30th. But go your way, and tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, as he said unto you. Mark 16:7. These are the words of the angel who had descended from heaven to attend his rising Lord. They were addressed to Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome. These women had honored the Savior, and he honored them. They were the first to receive the announcement of his resurrection, and the first to report it. But observe, they were to carry the news, not to the chief priests and Pharisees, not to Pilate, not to Herod. It was just to leave these men in the darkness they loved. They rebelled against the light, and no evidence would have convinced those who had already seen his miracles and believed not. But his disciples, though timid and weak and imperfect, were sincere. They had forsaken all to follow him. Their very doubting arose from the greatness of their love, and sorrow had now filled their hearts. They would therefore welcome the intelligence, and be influenced by it as his followers and witnesses. But why is Peter distinctively mentioned? Because he was the chief of apostles? So far from it. The distinction reminds us of his humiliation. He had fallen by his iniquity, and after the most solemn warnings and professions, he had denied his master with oaths and curses. But the look in the judgment hall had broken his heart, and made him to go out and weep bitterly. He was now on the verge of despair, and ready to say, perhaps was even now saying, he will disown me, and righteously disown me forever. The angel's naming him, therefore, on this occasion, was as much as to say, the Savior has not cast thee off. He has not forgotten to be gracious. He does not break a bruised reed, nor quench the smoking flax, but will send forth judgment unto victory. It also conveyed an intimation to his brethren that they were to follow his example, and endeavor to restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering themselves lest they also were tempted. The message, more than announcing his resurrection, added that he would go before them into Galilee. In vain we ask how he passed thither. He had the power to appear and disappear, and to transport himself from place to place as he pleased in a moment of time. But what led him down so many miles from Jerusalem? Was it to intimate his forsaking that guilty city? Woe unto you when I depart from you. Or was it to call them off from the strife and cruelties of their enemies? It was comparatively a place of security and concealment. Or was it that their journeying down separately or with each other might bring them to recollection and recover them from their late cowardice and unbelief? Was it to tell them to withdraw in order to be in the way of intercourse with him? It was a despised place. Would he teach them to rise above local and vulgar prejudices, and to call nothing common or unclean? It is certain that he had been much in Galilee himself, and had many followers there, and this accounts for the largeness of the assembly, for the apostles would naturally inform his friends there of his expected interview. Hence, he was now seen of above 500 brethren at once, many of whom were living when Paul wrote to the Corinthians, though some had fallen asleep. His promise that they should see him there would prove a test of their faith and affection. If they valued the sight of him and believed his word, they would certainly repair thither. Accordingly, they did repair thither, and there was he. Let us apply this to ourselves. There are means and ordinances which he has established. In these he has engaged to be found of those that seek him. If we rely on his truth and desire communion with him, we shall gladly avail ourselves of them. And can we be disappointed if we do? Has he ever said to the seed of Jacob, "Seek ye me in vain"? He has often been better than his word. But who ever found him worse? Let us go, therefore, to his throne and to his house with full and lively expectation. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. There shall we see him, as he has said unto us. He is also gone before us into heaven. Let us arise and depart hence, and seek him there. There shall we see him in all his glory, according to his promise. Where I am, there shall also my servants be. Oh, to join him there, to be forever with the Lord. O glorious hour, O blessed abode, I shall be near and like my God, and flesh and sin no more control the sacred pleasures of my soul.